This is the MSI GL62M 7REX. It is a budget notebook. Now I picked this one up here from China for $899 US. Considering the spec, I feel it's a really good price. So it has a Core i7 Kaby Lake 7700 HQ. Now that's a quad-core CPU. The GPU on board here is an NVIDIA 1050 Ti with 4GB of double data rate 5 RAM. Now the stock base configuration that you get straight out of the box is 8GB of RAM, so only one SODIMM is used. There's another spare one in there. In this review here, I've upgraded my unit, as I'll show you in just a second. And we have a 1TB. The GL62M weighs 2.3 kilos, and the weight distribution isn't too bad. Slightly heavier at the rear here, but overall it doesn't in hand feel as if it's 2.3, but perhaps a little bit lighter. Now the build is completely plastic, but it is a quality plastic they have used, and it has like a matte kind of coating to it, so it's quite grippy. It's not slippery, but it does have on the lid, you can see here, quite a bit of flex. I don't believe this is going to be an issue, however, but the materials used here on this budget laptop aren't the same kind of quality you get on the more premium options. So on the left of the laptop we have microphone in, headphone out, Type-C port. Now unfortunately it's not Thunderbolt and it's only USB 3 spec. A USB 3 port, mini display out, HDMI out, another USB 3 port, Ethernet, that's 1 gigabit as well, so nice and fast, and then a Kensington lock slot there. Then on the right, DC in for charging, of course, with the 150 watt power supply. We have an SD card slot, which is great to see, and it's one of those click-in style ones, so you shouldn't be breaking these cards off by accident, or those ones that sometimes stick out like that, which personally, I really hate those ones. However, this port is only wired up via a USB 2 hub, so it is slow. You cannot take advantage of high-speed cards. And then, lastly, a USB 2 port. On the rear, the two exhaust vents for the CPU and GPU, which I feel is a bit of a design error, that these vents should be a little bit bigger, so the fans inside could also be. Now looking at the device manager here, just wanted to point out what we have for the wireless chipset. So it's Intel's dual band wireless AC3168 here. So it's not one of the fastest ones. Intel does have that 8200 series, which do offer better performance. Now I did a quick benchmark here. Now the speeds should be a little bit higher than this, but at the time I was actually, I think I was uploading something else, but I have seen this get up to almost my full fiber optic line speed here, which is 300 megabits per second, both upload and download symmetric. And I've also noticed that the range of the wireless perfectly fine. I think it's because the whole housing on this laptop is plastic. It's not inhibited the signal of course, if it was a metal build to it, so perfectly fine there with that. Now, if we have a look at the SSD, I have installed my own one here. So it came with a 1TB 7200 RPM drive that is rather slow, but it's actually, for the type of drive it is, it's not really that bad because it gets around 130 reads and writes megabits per second. But with my drive here, of course, that is running in PCIe times 4, and I've just finished up benchmarking it here, so very good performance out of that. That is blazing fast. I really do love those drives, so no bottlenecks at all when it comes to storage here. Now that slot is a PCI times 4 slot, but also SATA 3. So if you do happen to have a 22x80 SATA 3 SSD, you could put that in there, but of course your speeds will cap out around 550 megabytes per second. Reads and writes there, sequentials. If you have seen my unboxing, one thing to note here that is going to be a bit of an issue for some people is that this particular model is the Chinese version. So it did ship with Windows 10 in Chinese. However, what I did is I created a Windows 10 media USB pen drive, flash drive, and then I installed the Windows 10, but make sure you install the Windows 10 home version in English. You can add your own language packs later on, and it did activate using the existing key that's incorporated part of the BIOS, so activation was not an issue. You do not have to buy a new Lightning